Okay, I'm back. I cleaned up my memory on the phone and I've done some work. Because of all of that, I felt I owed you more, so I actually got a transformer and I hooked up an engine. So let's see what we have to play with here. What I'm showing in the background, you can't see it, is a 15B, a single lever transformer. It's one of the old ones. I have my voltmeter, but I already used it. But I put this power coming into the track. This tender is a two-wheel pickup, right? It's on the track. I've run the power lines, and in the kit, I wanted to make sure you understand there are where did they go? There are some power lines. They're in here somewhere. Well, they were here a minute ago. I must have used them. Okay, forget about it. I'll figure it out, okay? No, they're not here. I don't know what happened to them. Okay. Any case, there are power lines, as you might not see well here. Lost all my sense of what. Okay. Here's the track power coming in, and then the track power comes into these black lines from the pickup down here and the pickup that's under that board, and I've soldered them in right to that board. That's what you'll have to do. There is no harness in that regard. You just go from the pin just like you do the rivet, only instead of to the switch thingy, you'll go to where it says track, and you want one on each side, okay? And those are usually black. They're in the 24 gauge wire, okay. Oh, there, power track, there it is. Here's the two wires that I'm supplying you. You'll strip them, tin them, solder them in, and you're done. You got to clean off the old wire, that's all, okay? Then the next thing I did was the motor wiring, and that's these two wires, and you'll solder, cut them, tin them, solder them, put them in here, cut them, solder them, and you'll screw them into those three right here. You screw them in, red to red, black to black. Red to plus, black to plus. That's how that's gonna go, okay? So that's the other set of wires that you're gonna need, and they're in there. Then we get to the smart smoke, motor control board. Oh, then you get from the end of the motor board out, that's these wires here, so I've got a set of that wires. You'll have to cut them, strip them, tin them, and put them together, okay? That's those 6 wires. Oh, and then there's the SS wire. Oh, that's how you get SS smoke to the buckboard, right? That goes here to here. I just put in a plug-in so I could unplug and move them around later, but you would want these to be soldered in both ends, right to that, and that's how they would route. So that's those 2 wires. And then the last piece is the smoke from output of the voltmeter regulator to the smoke. You would solder these in place. These are the only 4 wires that go to the engine, okay? So if you want to put in a connector like the one that's in the overhead for some of these earlier engines, 4 pins that plug in, unplug, you could solder to that plug, solder to that plug, and you could do that. That would work fine too. And I did a little thing I wanted to share with you. Oh, we got to turn it on first. I always get excited. Okay, now we're running and we're going in forward. And it has a lot of power and it'll go fast. And it will smoke after it gets warmed up. It's getting warm. It'll start smoking, you'll think it's great. There we go. I don't know what that smoke is. It smells good too. Pretty nice. Can you see that smoke from in here? Not too well. Anyway, it is smoking. Sorry if you can't see it. But watch, what I want you to watch is this. We're going to go in reverse. up, down, reverse. Can you see that? Did you see that before? Can you see it now? Barely. There you can see it. Neutral, forward. Neutral, reverse. So this is your backup light. That's pretty cool. It's got a resistor, and this is its own built-in diode. So power only goes one way. And if you recall, this thing's choking me out here. If you recall, I said these don't really have polarity because they switch. They're DC, but they switch. Reverse is this way and positive, and then okay. But this thing only likes it one way, and if you move them to the right connector, you get one way when you're in reverse. Now I can do the same thing with a headlight. When you come off of here and you test it before you solder it, you say, okay, I want to go forward, and you move the wires until the light comes on, then you solder them in, you got a headlight. Or if you want it on all the time, I do it from the smoke itself and come off. It's a little shorter, but it does work as well. Now if you want red lights in the tender, you want to take those off further upstream so you don't have this on-off stuff. You can take them off this WeMOS over here and run them to the back, and they'll be on all the time. The challenge is they're going to be getting track power that's not regulated in any way. Okay, if you want to send a regulated 8 volts, these don't take very much power, so you could run the backup lights off of this. In fact, I have an engine where I'm running a cooling fan off of the smoke power. It's working fine. It has its own regulator. I put this down with tape, sticky tape, like this. You use alcohol and a paper towel, and you clean both surfaces really good. You stick it to one surface, you peel this off, you set it where you have good clearance. I missed it, I'm not in the center, but you want to be in the center so you don't touch anything, and you just stick it down and it'll stick. So this bracket is good for that. You don't need any of this screwing to the chassis stuff. And it will peel off if you need to peel it off, okay? And then the screws, I've talked about what they are. These guys, I use these everywhere I can. And then sometimes if the screws are older, I have to go to my 256 and I'll use that screw. Okay, so there isn't really a harness. I only did this for my convenience. When you're building yours, you don't really want too many connectors. You want to go right from there to there, and I give you that wire. Okay, there's the buck boost, and the red is on the bottom, so you go red to the bottom, black is on top, black to black. So it's very simple. You just got to go boom, boom, and it goes right in. So I'll put these in a zip bag. They'll be part of what you get in the next few days. Dan or one of us will mail this out to those that have the kit, and I'll make more of them. I'll get the measurements so they're all consistent and all that stuff. Okay. So at any rate, that's how I wanted to make sure you knew and saw what it takes to make this thing run. I'm telling you, it takes 6 wires to get the motor to run, and then 4 more wires to get the smoke to run. And then if you want an LED to come on in forward or reverse or all the time, you can do that. Red lights in the back, you could take those off of the smoke out here. They'll be on anytime the track's on. And the same, these are very low power, so they're not really nobody's gonna get mad at you if you do that. And then you can figure out where to put them on your engine. We had something for the tenders. Yeah, I made a little tender house that this thing fits in, and you then glue that onto the back of the tender body. Oh, this is a metal one. It's not going to work like I want. But the plastic ones, or even the tin ones, if you're brave, you can drill a hole and stick them on there. Plastic ones are much easier to work with. So this is what level 1, next gen level 1 with smoke is what it is and how it works. So I think it's pretty darn good. My fingers are sticky. No, they're not. You don't have fingers. Oh, I do on my hand, but not on my train. And the backup light, I don't know what this thing cost me. I think it was like $3 or something. Very, very reasonable. Now I've worn that thing out. This thing has been fritzy for me. There he goes. Now we're forward. I get ahead of it sometimes. Okay. Questions, ask them below. Write us. This stuff is available on the Gum Road. I don't know if you can see that any better or not, but it's putting out some smoke. It's smoking it up. I don't know what flavor it is, but it's got some flavor. I think it's cut grass. That must be in there from a long time ago. We don't have any cut grass now. Okay, that's it. It is pretty easy, but I will admit, if it's your first time and you're doing this and you've been doing the old flyer way for a long time, the electromechanical, right? It's really hard to burn things up. It's true here. If you put red to black, you can really hurt something. You can break it, and you won't know it, and then it won't work. And then we'll have to get the board back, and Dan can sometimes fix it, but he'll have to replace it, okay? So you got to be careful with that. Red to red, black to black. Key. The screws, you can get them. I'll get the source and the quantities and stuff, and send you a few, and then I can tell you where you can get them for your own use. And the wire, I'll give you a set to start with. But it's not like a harness. You don't plug things in because we want them soldered in so we have good connectivity, okay? I did this only for my convenience for demonstration purposes, because take them apart and you reuse them. That's good. Okay, and let us know if you have questions. And then Gum Road's a link. All right, gang, that's the show. That's all I got. It works. Pretty cool. This would work on an engine that you have that the smoke is dead, the reverse is dead, the fingers are munged up, or if something's missing, the fields have a broken wire. It's about $100, maybe 105, a little bit of freight. You have digital reverse, AC to DC, DC field motor, and updated smoke lid. All right, gang, that's what it is. I'm getting out of here. It is. I'm trouble now.